Jobs are shifting very fast today if you look at it. Business disruption and invasion of technology in every aspect of work is very quickly evolving the kind of skills that are required. And that has a bearing at three levels. First of all, what are skills and what do they mean for organizations? Then how do you go about assessing and developing those skills? And also how these skills are getting monetized in the marketplace. Now in simple terms, if we look at it, perhaps skill is like this piece of Legos, right? It is the single smallest unit of a capability that you bring to the table that allows somebody to do something. Set of skills when combined in a particular logical sequence creates something what we call as a capability in a person. So it could be a capability for negotiations which will have multiple skills going into it. And of course, traditionally we know when there are multiple capabilities at different levels, we put together and create something like a competency model. Now, competency models are very difficult to first of all fathom, and then difficult to build competencies, and also they come with a lot of inflexibility around. Because the components of competency models are not that flexible, so to say. As more and more technology is helping people do their work, a lot of work is also going to machine workers. We realize that people are able to work with much smaller quantities of skills and still make some kind of an output. So therefore, organizations have realized that they will need to look at what is the single skill, what are the new skills that are coming up. In fact, according to a World Economic Forum survey, it is anticipated that more than 50% skills of the workforce today will become redundant. That means those skills that are being used today will not be required in the future. It also shows that almost 40% of the people will have to be largely reskilled to remain employable. So therefore, organizations have started looking at individual skills. Now, skills also have a bearing on how the role, jobs and tasks are defined. In the earlier days, if you had to do a particular role, it had multiple requirements, and the individual who was quote-unquote competent in doing that was expected to have all the skills, if not very high on dexterity, but at least have bare minimum around that, and then of course constantly work. Today, the mix of the workforce is changing. You could have gig workers, you could have full-time workers, you could have part-time workers, you could have returning workers, you could even have machine workers. So therefore, the roles will get split depending upon which skill is delivered the best by which form of worker. And then you don't have to really worry about finding the right fit for the right role, but the focus can be on finding the right skill for the right task and bring that whole virtual work together. Now, why this is important and what some of the organizations are doing, we'll continue to talk in more videos. But the biggest impact of this is that the way these skills are getting monetized are changing. A simple example would be the gig marketplace, where an individual can actually monetize only one skill and make a decent living rather than worrying about developing the entire paraphernalia of the competency framework and be relevant or suitable for a job. So therefore, while competencies will continue for a while, it is clearly evident that organizations must shift their focus on skills and align their talent management practices to the skills shift. This is something that we will continue to explore in this series.